Good afternoon and happy Saturday, everybody. I'm Faker, and I welcome you to yet another episode of I Refuse to Read, the series where you, my community, vote on which archetype you want me to read in real time for the first time ever. As I'm coming back from a bit of a hiatus, the next few episodes are just going to be picked by me, both to get the community engagement on the polls back to where it was before my little break, and because there are a couple of meta archetypes that I have not even begun to touch in my time off. If you want to participate in the viewer polls and have a say on what episodes come next, subscribe and keep an eye on the community tab. Polls will be going up in the near future. On to the subject of today's video, the inspiration for Justin Bieber's 2020 smash hit single that redefined pop music and the word that leaves my mouth every time I devour my opponent's copy of Droll and Lockbird. Yummy. Yummy is such a strange phenomena to me. When I stopped playing the game to focus on my nationals testing, Ryziel and Malice were the clear-cut best decks in the format. And somewhere along the way, Yummy was released and it just flew completely under my radar. So we're going to rectify that today. I have a summary of the archetype pulled up here on Yugipedia, and then we'll get into the cards. Yugipedia states, Yummy is an archetype of light beast monsters introduced in the deck build pack Justice Hunters. Oh, hell yeah. As a Lightsworn Edison player, I have a special affinity towards light beasts. Also, is it just me, or did deck build packs become surprisingly based out of nowhere, right? Like, they used to be a joke, but I feel that recently they've just been home run after home run. Maybe that's just my rescue ace bias, but I digress. The archetype's name reflects how most of the monsters are themed after sweets, but is also a pun on darkness, Yami, referencing their appearance as black cats. Oh, okay, cool, yeah, the Japanese word for dark is Yami, like the old school field spell or other Yugi's first name. That's clever. The archetype is themed around desserts. The main deck Yummy monsters resemble cute kittens cosplaying a dessert. The bottom of their artworks show the different flavors of the desserts that they're based on, or the different ways that they can be enjoyed. Okay, well that's just damn adorable. See, Yu-Gi-Oh! Can be cute without dressing girls up in spandex and fishnets. Impressive, Konami. There's nothing about the playstyle in this summary, so I guess we're just gonna have to piece it together as we go. A reminder before we begin that I have never read any of these cards before, as I am the scrubbiest casual that you will ever meet. And by the end of this video, I'm going to try and evaluate the deck's power level as a whole. I have the archetype pulled up here on YGO Pro Deck, and okay, this is a bit of a smaller archetype than is like usual at this point, but I guess that's just because it's so new. I'll take it. It's a nice little dip in the water before the inevitable hero video. We have 4 main deck monsters, 3 synchros, a link, 4 spells, and a trap. Interesting. In the very first video that we ever did, S-Force, I started with the link, but ever since I have been starting with the lowest level monster, which is what we are going to do today. Unfortunately, all of these monsters are level 1, so kind of hard to pick, so I'm just going to start from top of the page to bottom of the page. We begin with Marshmallow Yummy. This is a level 1 light beast with 800, 600, so they're all level 1s, and I believe they're all light beasts, which is what the summary said. So that'll be really simple. What's the deal with the star in the name? I feel like they've been doing that more recently with, like, they did that with Live Twins too, right? Where they put, like, weird characters in the name. This is a adorable marshmallow with sprinkles, and it has the effect, if you control no monsters, or all monsters you control are light beast monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 Yummy spell trap from your grave to hand. Or if this card was special summoned by the effect of a Synchro monster, you can place 1 Yummy field spell or Yummy continuous spell trap from your deck or banishment face up on the field instead, and then you can only use each effect once per turn. Oh my god, dude. New Yu-Gi-Oh! Card design is amazing. What is this? I'm going to try not to get too caught up on this because I have a feeling all the cards are going to say this. This is crazy, right? Like, you can special summon this card by breathing, just like it doesn't matter what. If you control no monsters or every monster you control is light beast, which it's going to be in this archetype, you can just special summon this card. So it's a starter, it's an extender. If it's normal or special, so just however you want, you can add a Yummy spell trap from grave to hand. Or if it was special summoned by a Synchro, and I'm sure the Synchros special summon your monsters, you can just place it, which means that you don't, like, it's not even ashable. That's crazy. Field spell or continuous spell trap, so it just gets you access to whatever you want. This is nuts, dude. Like, I don't even know how to properly vet it among the rest of the archetype because I feel like all the cards are going to be this ridiculous. It's great. I love the, like, Mimikyu kind of design, you know, with the, like, cross smile smile and the little beady eyes. It's adorable, but in like a somewhat scary way. And oh, I see where it says the bottom of the card is the different ways that it can be prepared. That's really cute because it's like a toasted marshmallow, or I think there's like caramel on it. Okay, I like it. Visually, I think it's adorable. It's kind of like the button on a vending machine, you know, that like you would push in order to get your snack. I dig it. Crazy powerful, extending, searching, just gets you access to everything. Moving on, we have Cupsy Yummy. Is that like a milkshake or a parfait? That is awesome. I love its little eyes just kind of like staring off into space. Super cute. Level 1 light beast with 0 and 1600. All right. I wonder if it being a 0 attack is going to benefit it anyway. That's interesting. It has the effect. If you control a Link 1 monster, that does not bode well for this Link monster, or a level 2 Synchro monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Okay, you can only special summon Cupsy Yummy once per turn in this way. If this card is normal or special, you can add one Yummy card from your deck to your hand except itself, or if it was special summoned by the effect of a Synchro monster, you can just draw one card instead. That's kind of strange that the effect that requires you to have summoned it in a bit more of a difficult way seems worse, right? Because adding is obviously stronger than searching, but maybe the idea is like if you have already gotten to the point where you're special summoning this off a Synchro monster, maybe the pure advantage that could be something like a hand trap or a piece of non-engine might be more valuable at this stage. So this is a bit more difficult to special summon than the last one because it requires a Link 1 or a level 2 Synchro, but I feel like this is just an extender that you would have access to at any point in your combo. If the Link monster is a Link 1, that is terrifying for the remainder of this deck. That does not bode well at all. I think this is good, right? It's more searching, it's more extension, it just lets you get more bodies on the field easily, and it's adorable. Let me take a look at the different variations that you can get on the bottom of the card. I think this is a parfait, right? That's what I'm putting my vote down as. And it looks like there's like key lime and chocolate mud and orange meringue, and I don't know any of the ones on the left. Y'all can tell me. All right, moving on. We have Cookie Yummy. Okay, this is not a cat, by the way. This is clearly a squirrel. Like the other ones have been kind of okay on being a cat or whatever. This is not a cat. This is a squirrel. And it is a level 1 light beast with 1000 and 0, so kind of the inverse stat line. And it says, if you control a Link 1 or level 2 Synchro, you can special summon this card, okay? You can only special summon Cookie Yummy once per turn this way. That's fine. If this card is normal or special, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 1000 attack, or if this card was special summoned by the effect of a Synchro monster, you can destroy that monster instead. Okay, so this is like the Star Ryziel, right? Like this is the one that's kind of outside looking in. This is clearly the worst one. Although maybe you play it at 1 because if the Synchro lets you special summon from deck, maybe even like as a quick effect, then this can act as a form of disruption, which I haven't seen any yet, not in the main deck monsters, so maybe there's some value to this. It doesn't let you extend nearly as well as some of the other ones because you're not plussing off of it, but it does allow you to destroy an opponent's monster, which I think is pretty sick. As for the artwork, we have, let's see, there's like a chocolate fudge cookie, and I don't know what that one that's got all the rings around it looking like a sunflower is, but that's the one that I want to eat. Clearly the worst one that we've read so far, but you know, I think it fits into the play that the rest of the deck is trying to do. The last main deck monster, man, we are flying through these. Between Amazement and this deck, we've had a couple of archetypes with low main deck investment. This is Lollipo Yummy. So this is our Lollipop. This is a level 1 light beast with 600 and 1200, and the effect, if you control a Link 1 or level 2 Synchro monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Lollipo Yummy once per turn this way. If it's normal or special summoned, you can target one card in your opponent's grave, shuffle it into the deck, or if this card was special summoned by the effect of a Synchro monster, you can banish that card instead. Okay, so I think that this is the same thing as the Cookie Yummy, right? Like, it's a different form of disruption because you're interacting with your opponent's graveyard as opposed to messing with a card on the field. So if I had to guess, and the special summon condition is the same as every one of them except for Marshmallow. So if I'm going to guess, I'm going to say that Marshmallow is played at 3, Cupsy is played at 3, and then Cookie and Lollipo you both play at like 1 or maybe 2 because the deck is lacking like main deck names. So I think maybe you play it. This is clearly a cat. This is adorable. This is probably my favorite of the card artworks. I love how happy it is. And then all the like candy canes. You can see that one of them has like the wild berry candy cane. Those were always my favorite to get on Christmas. I was part of the leave the mint candy canes on the Christmas tree. I was eating all the fruit flavored candy canes for sure. Okay, this is a crazy main deck lineup of monsters, because if the link is a link 1 and you can get to it by normal summoning any of the monsters in this deck, then all of these monsters just act as free extension. And none of these lock you, by the way. I haven't seen any locks on any of these cards. None of them are like special summon this card, then you can only special summon yummy monsters for the remainder of the turn. So that is crazy. Although it doesn't seem like any of these are tuners. Did I miss something? No, none of these are tuners. So I'm going to have to guess that the yummy synchros do not require tuners in order to make these. Very, very interesting. All right. Well, we are going to move on to the synchro monsters, and we're just going to go, top to bottom like we did before. We have our first synchro monster, which is Cupsy Yummy Way. Very interesting name. Level 2 Light Beast Synchro Tuner. Okay, it itself is a tuner. That's interesting. With 0 attack and 2200 defense, requires a tuner and a non-tuner monster. Okay. For this card Synchro Summon, you can treat one Link 1 monster you control as if it was a level 1 tuner. Huh. You can use each of the following effects of Cupsy Yummy Way once per turn. If this card is Synchro Summoned, you can add 2 yummy monsters from deck to hand, then discard 1 card. Okay. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can return this card to the extra deck, special summon up to 2 yummy monsters from your grave. That's really interesting. Okay. The Link 1, it can be treated as a tuner. That is fine. I was wondering how they were going to get around not having any tuners. And I think that requiring the Link 1 to be a tuner is like a little more restrictive than allowing any yummy monster to be treated as a tuner. If it's synchroed, then you get to add 2 yummy monsters and then discard 1 card. It doesn't say discard 1 of those. So if you draw like a piece of non-engine that you don't need or a duplicate, you can just add any 2 yummy monsters that you're missing and then pitch like the card that isn't helping you, right? So this is like a supreme consistency piece. This is nuts. And then you can tag out for 2 yummy monsters from grave, which I'm assuming if the link is treated as a yummy monster, then you can just go back into the link, right? That is nuts. It says you can treat a Link 1 monster you control as a level 1 tuner. It doesn't say you can treat a Link 1 yummy monster you control as a level 1 tuner, which means I don't know what the synergy is, but you can play this with any deck that has a Link 1, right? So like appliancers, I don't know if any of the appliancers are level 1s, but you could do like appliancer combos into Cupsies, which kind of makes sense, right? Because they're like a vending machine, right? Am I crazy? There's like a vending machine element, and the appliancers are like machines. Appliancer Yummy Boys. That is the next meta deck. I'm calling it right now. Okay, this card is really good. Again, it doesn't really disrupt your opponents in like a strong way, but it is a super powerful extension. That's ridiculous. Up next, we have Cookie Yummy Way. Yes, it looks like the Yummy Way cards, like the synchros, are just vending machine claws that are coming down and picking them up. So I think maybe my theory is correct. This is a level 2 Beast Synchro Tuner effect with 1600 and 0, requires 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner, and then says for this card Synchro, you can treat 1 Link 1 monster you control as a level 1 tuner. Awesome. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is Synchro Summoned, you can target up to 2 face-up monsters on the field, and then you can book them. That's pretty nice disruption. I like that. There's like a ninja that does that too, right? The Gravitino. No, that's Gravitino's an S-Force monster. I can't remember the ninja. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can tag out and special summon up to 2 yummy monsters from your grave. Okay. I wonder if they have a way to quick sync, because like what are you doing that allows you to use those bodies for something, right? That's crazy. This one's okay. So it allows you to Book of Moon your opponent's field, essentially. You get a lot of disruption. Definitely feels weaker than the last one. I don't have a lot to say about this, other than the fact that, look how mean the vending machine is being to those cookies, dude. One of them's crying. One of them's completely surprised. It looks like one is like running away. And this like vending machine arm dude just does not care. He's being very mean. Not a fan. Moving on to the last of these synchro monsters. Hopefully we have a little bit of a more positive story here. This is Lolipo Yummy Way. This is a level 2 Light Beast Synchro with 1200, 1200, and This one's actually a little bit difficult, right? Because the Lalipo yummies look like they're having a great time. They're like ecstatic. The one that's being taken away is having the time of its life, and the arm is just not having it at all. So I don't know. I'm going to say that this is a little bit more of a positive card artwork than the last ones. This is a level 2 Light Beast Synchro tuner with 1200, requires a tuner and a non-tuner. And then for this card Synchro Summon, you can treat one Link 1 monster you control as a level 1 tuner. Fine. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card is Synchro Summoned, you can special summon 2 yummy monsters from grave, but negate their effects. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can return this card to the extra deck, special summon up to 2 yummy monsters from your grave. Okay, so this is like your Swarmer, right? Because if you Synchro Summon it, you can special 2, and then when you tag out, you can special summon up to 2. So you could get 4 monsters, and all of the main deck yummy monsters have those extra effects if they're special summoned off a Synchro monster. So I think that's where you get those tag effects. I thought it was coming from deck, but it turns out that they're being special summoned from grave. And I think that's fine. A lot of the effects when you special summon from grave are super strong, right? So like Marshmallow lets you place a yummy spell from deck into your field. That's nuts. Cupsy allows you to draw, which I think if you're just like constantly recycling and drawing, you could just end up with so much advantage that it doesn't really matter. Cookie obviously pops a card, and then Lalipo banishes a card from grave. So if you're just tagging out these Synchro monsters and doing that like on your opponent's turn, that feels like even if each individual effect isn't super strong, that it could be overwhelming. And they don't seem to be like super high investment. I like that. I think that the Synchros are very interesting, and they're all tuners, right? So that kind of allows you to Synchro climb with them if you wanted to, although at the moment you're not Synchro climbing into anything like in Archetype. All in all, fairly impressed with the Synchros. Let's move on to the Link one. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So the Link one is the card that's been stealing all the main deck cards in the Synchro card artwork. I like that. This is Yummy Snatchy. This is a Light Beast Link 1 with 600 attack and a big fat downward pointing arrow. I dig it. Is it a crab? It's got a crab, and then it's kind of like mirroring the crab. I'm not really sure. It's not in a good mood though. It is adorable. It requires 1 level 4 or lower Light Beast monster. Wow. That feels maybe more generic than it is, right? Because like you can summon this in Lightsworn with Raikou. I wonder if there are any like other level 4 beasts. Hold on, let me check Wikipedia real quick. Okay, yeah, there are a couple of like interesting options on Wikipedia. There's a normal monster named Decoy that's a level 1 light beast. You could just special summon that off of like Unexpected Die and just special summon from deck. But it's probably not worth it to play like the brick, especially in the modern day. But yeah, Unexpected Die Decoy to make this guy. Crazy. If this card is special summoned, you can place 1 yummy field spell from your hand or deck face up on the field. Also, you cannot link summon Link 3 or higher Link monsters for the rest of this turn. Okay, so we've gone from the Link 1 that searches the field spell to the Link 1 that places the field spell. That's crazy, right? Because obviously it can't be ashed. It feels like Ash is being power crept, right? Like, am I crazy? I feel like so many cards place cards from deck, which is better than adding them from deck in that it dodges Ash. That is really, really nuts. Also, I think it dodges Droll and Lockbird too, right? Let me know, but I believe that it does. You can only use this effect once per turn. Once per chain during the main phase or your opponent's battle phase, you can pay 100 life points. Immediately after this effect resolves, Synchro Summon using monsters you control. Okay, so it quick syncs and it searches the field spell. This card is stupid. This card is crazy. I like the fact that it locks you out of Link summoning Link 3 or higher, but like you can just make IP Masquerena and then you could do that during your opponent's turn. I don't know that you would want to, because I think you want to quick sync on your opponent's turn. So maybe you do just keep this thing. This is nuts, right? Any level 4 lower light beast monster, you can just link into this guy, search your field spell, and then quick sync. This is a crazy powerful Link 1. If I had to guess, probably end up on the ban list at some point, right? You might think that's ridiculous because maybe Yummy isn't doing that much in the meta right now, but like they banned Meowmoo, which is a way worse card than this. And so it's like super difficult to gauge the power of Link 1s. Yeah, that's nuts. I mean, any deck that gets a Link 1 is going to see meta contention, right? Is it better than the Blue Eyes Link 1? That's the question that you got to ask, because the Blue Eyes Link one is crazy, but it's not getting banned anytime soon. So maybe it's like the rest of the deck that you have to gauge up against it. Wow. For a monster lineup, that was ridiculous. Like every one of those cards just like extends and searches. And even though their interruption isn't super powerful, it might just be enough when you stack it with all the special summoning that you're going to get off of the Synchro monsters. Additionally, I think you can just like get enough material on board that you could like IP into something ridiculous on your opponent's turn. Let me know, because I think that that's probably the end board piece involves IP Masquerena pretty heavily, just to dodge the Link 3 lock. Okay, we have quite a few spells that we are going to get into. We are going to look to see what the field spell is for. Oh, they have 2 field spells. Okay, well, we're just going to start with this one then. Ooh, that's a tough word. Yummyusement Acroqui. Okay, we'd been fine up until this point. We had to get thrown for a loop at some point. This is a field spell, and the art depicts, is that like, they're like advertising that you come eat the yummies? Or are they like kidnapping the yummies from a planet of food so that they could be sold elsewhere? Is this just like a galactic colonialism thing? Ooh. This is darker than all the amusement cards, you know, with like Horror House and stuff like that. They did a better job at kind of subtly depicting a dark story in the Yummy cards than they did in that archetype. If you Synchro summon a Light Beast Synchro monster, you can target one card your opponent controls, destroy it. Stupid. If this face-up card you control leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon one Yummy monster from your deck. If this card is in your grave, you can target 2 Yummy monsters in your graveyard or banishment, place this card and them on the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, so there's like a little bit of recycling, and you can get access to this card on your opponent's turn like super easily because of all the ways that you have to search field spells, right? The Link one does it, Marshmeow does it. Like, you can definitely get access to this. And then if you quick sync on your opponent's turn, you get to pop a card. Not a monster, a card, so like you can do spells as well. That's sick. So just like you can go into the Link one, activate this card from deck, and then you have that effect online because the Link one also allows you to quick synchro if you have like a single other Yummy monster, which you probably will. And then if you like lose a monster at all, you get to special summon from deck. Really, really cool card artwork that is a little bit unnerving and a really strong effect, especially considering that you have 2 field spells that you can kind of pick between depending on whatever the need is. I like that. I like that a lot. Then we have the other field spell, Yummyusement Mignon. This is a big happy field spell where all of the Yummy monsters are just like playing in the world. There's the cup and the cookie and the lollipop, and I don't see Marshmeow, so maybe Marshmeow is like an invader as well. This has the effect, Yummy monsters you control gain 500 attack for each Light Beast monster on the field. Crazy. Okay, that's like the Sprite Smashers effect, you know? Or is it Gamma Burst? I think it's Gamma Burst, where they all just get like a monster amount of attack. Super cool. You can only use each of the following effects of Yummyusement's Mignon once per turn. If you control a Link 1 monster, target one level 1 monster in your grave, special summon it. If this card's in your grave, you can do the thing where you target a bunch of cards and then place it on the bottom of the deck. I feel like that means that you don't have to play as many copies, because you can just take this from grave or banishment, so there's really nowhere that it can go where you can't get access to it again, and then it's so searchable that you can just like get it again whenever you want. Even the Link one, because it says target 2 Yummy monsters, which would include the Link one, so you can just like keep recycling the Link one. I feel like this is a crazy amount of recursion and repeatability, even if it doesn't let you like place them on the bottom of the grave and then draw a card like a lot of these similar effects, like Prank Kids Place used to do. I think it's still super powerful. The effect to make everyone huge is crazy, because if you have a full board of these guys, that's like 2,500 attack each. That's an OTK. That's really powerful. And then it just allows you to special summon from grave. I mean, this is enough of an extender on its own, because you could go normal summon any Yummy, make the Link one, place this field spell. You now control a Link one, so you can go field spell, bring back the Yummy that you used, and then you could use that as material to quick sync on your opponent's turn. And then the Synchro monster can special summon 2 back, so it's like more than enough on its own. This is really, really strong. I think that this is probably the better field spell. I like this quite a bit. Solid stuff. Wow. Really good field spells. Moving on, we have one continuous spell and a quick play. Let's move to the continuous because we know that this is also searchable. This is Yum Yum Yummies. Okay, this is the final proof that this is all like a claw game, and these are all just prizes to be won. And the other card artwork makes it look like they are being poached off of their home planet to be turned into prize games. Gotta love it. This is just Kashtira. This is the Kashtira card artwork story, but like told through a more adorable lens. I dig it. Yum Yum Yummies is a continuous spell that says, each time 2 or more yummies are special summoned to your field at the same time, gain 500 life points. Crazy. And if you do, your opponent pays 500 life points. When are we getting into like burn time cards? This is like coming through at the last second, dude. What the hell? You can only use each of the following effects of Yum Yum Yummies once per turn. You can pay 500 life points and then target 2 face-up monsters on the field, including Yummy Snatchy, so the link one has to be on the field. Send both to the grave, and if you do, special summon 1 Yummy Synchro monster from the extra deck, treat it as a Synchro summon. If your opponent activates a card or effect, you can pay 100 life points immediately after this effect resolves, link summon 1 Yummy Link monster. Holy cow! Oh my god, these cards are ridiculous! What are these spells? So each time 2 or more yummy monsters are special summoned. So that is like when you are using the summon from grave effect of the Synchro monsters. You gain 500, your opponent pays 500. You can do that on your turn, which means that you can just like burn your opponent in time immediately. That's ridiculous. Then pay 500, target 2 monsters on the field, including one of your link ones, send them to the grave. So that's non-destruction removal. And then you get to special summon a yummy Synchro monster from your extra deck, completely bypassing the need to actually have enough materials to synchro. Because it says target 2 face-up monsters on the field, not 2 face-up monsters you control. You can use that to like get rid of one of your opponent's monsters and essentially synchro summon using one of their monsters. It's like bypasses it a little bit, but that's still crazy. And then you just get to like quick link if your opponent activates a card. This card does everything. This is like 3 effects and it's super searchable, and you can just place it from deck off of the effect of Marshmeow Yummy. Oh my god, this is the best card in the deck. Am I crazy? This feels like the best card in the deck. This feels like this enables everything that this deck wants to do in this one continuous spell. Holy cow. Amazing. And it's also the card that proves once and for all that this archetype is like way more sinister than it appears, which I think is super cool. All right, we have 2 more cards left in this entire archetype. We have the quick play spell, Yummy Surprise. Look at them. They're all just falling down. They're all just falling down, having a great time, completely unaware of the horrors that are being committed. This is a quick play spell with 3 effects, a quick play after my own heart. Activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect once per turn, so you can use all of the effects once per turn. Nuts. Target 2 light beast monsters you control, and 2 cards your opponent controls, return them to the hand. Ridiculous, because you can just special summon your cards by breathing. So you could like special summon 2 off of the effects of the Synchro monsters, and then bounce 2 of your opponent's cards, and then just special summon the 2 that you just added right back. Nuts. Special summon a yummy monster from hand or grave, but it cannot attack directly this turn. Who gives a shit? Return 1 field spell from your face-up field or grave to the hand. Then you can place 1 yummy field spell from your hand or face-up field. So I guess you can do that on your opponent's turn. The 3rd effect feels not great, but the first effect is just like ridiculous recycling and board clearing, and then it's like quick effect Monster Reborn as well. It says special summon a yummy monster, which means that you can special summon the Synchro monsters as well. Wow, this card is really, really good, and obviously it's not as searchable because it's not a field or continuous spell, but I still think it's super good. I feel like despite being a smaller archetype, I feel like this video is still super long because I just have so much to say on these cards. My gosh. And we then have, wow, this is the worst looking card in the whole deck. Yummy Redemption. What is going on in this art? Somebody tell me, please. Do I have this whole thing wrong? Who is being redeemed in this card artwork? This is awful. Oh my gosh. Please, somebody elaborate for my soul. I want to know that I'm wrong about this artwork, please. This is a continuous trap that says, monsters your opponent controls lose 200 attack for each light beast monster in your field or graveyard. That's kind of cool because you can partner that with the field spell and just like 0 all their monsters and boost all your monsters. Once per chain, if you synchro summon a light beast monster, you can draw a card, then place 1 card from your hand on the bottom of the deck. Pretty good. You can banish this card from your grave, then target 1 yummy monster you control and 1 monster your opponent controls. Switch control of those 2 monsters. So you can give them like a 0 attacker to run over, or I mean, you have enough ways that you can send your opponent's monsters to the grave in order to like synchro summon that maybe it's not a huge deal. I like this. I think this is fine. I don't think you have a lot of easy ways to access it because I think the continuous effects are all on spells, right? No, Marshmeow also is a continuous trap and it places it face up. So you can just like get access to this off Marshmeow just as easy as everything else. Wow. Okay, yeah, so I mean, you play it at 1, right? There's no reason. Maybe like when you're gearing up for an OTK, this is just like the final piece of the puzzle. I was really wondering how this deck was going to secure kills, but there's actually enough like attack point modulation that I feel like OTKing is not that bad, right? Like Sprite didn't have a hard time going after kills when it was played pure either, and I think that this is probably the same deal. Holy cow, wow, this is a very long video. I think that this archetype is nuts, which like that is not a controversial take. It's a modern Yu-Gi-Oh deck with a Link 1. It specials and searches and summons in crazy ways, but I actually think that the way that it goes about its gameplay is really unique. Like the quick synchroing and then the effects that vary based on where these cards are being specialed from. The way that they interact with themselves are a lot of unique interruption. Like the summon searching thing is the same as every other deck in Yu-Gi-Oh, but the way that it goes about like actually breaking boards is really unique. The fact that Yummy Snatchy at the very least locks you out of Link summoning Link 3 or higher monsters means that the actual degeneracy that you can achieve on your turn is kind of kept underway. Some other thoughts. I wonder if there are any like rank 2 plays that the deck can make, but that feels like a waste of your synchro monsters. I feel like maybe you don't Xyz summon at all because like level 1 and level 2 are not great, and maybe you just don't synchro climb at all. I think you might just play this pure. I really don't know. This might be a deck that I have to take a bit of a deeper dive into. Obviously, this is all first look stuff. I'm not nearly as knowledgeable as any of you. I haven't played the deck, so please, if you guys have any takes, anything you would recommend I take a look at, let me know. Kind of like Memento, I think I might want to take another look at this deck a little bit later on. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for coming back. If you did, please subscribe, keep an eye out for future videos, and remember to wash behind your ears.